Hi, this is day 5 of the Gisele Grenier challenge. She challenged me to put 3 pieces of artwork out on my Facebook page. Actually, it's more like day 7 or 8. I kind of like to talk about what I'm putting out there. Most of these things that I'm going to show you, with the exception of the needlework, was done in 2013. And since Valentine's Day is our next holiday coming up, I thought I'd show you this Valentine that I made for a challenge in 2013. I made this huge Valentine, put a red border around it, and then there's a little spider web. And I don't know if you can see the little spiders right up here. And his body is a heart, and then he's got a little head there, and then he's got little creepy crawlers coming out as lace from the heart. So that's my little Valentine spider. And then he's woven a web, and he's leaving hearts all over the web. So that was my challenge for February of 2013. I call it my spider heart, I guess. Then I have some 4x4s to show you. This is a 4x4, and I think it was a Paris theme. I'm no longer in the Art for Creative Mind group, but that's what I did this for. And actually, this was the keeper one that I did. This was the corner of my patio, and then I did an overlay, a digital overlay of some vintage photographs and the Eiffel Tower in the background. And the wording says, "From my patio to Paris." And then I have a trim here that I probably got it at Michael's, but it's got a little Eiffel Tower in the trim. And then on the back, I've numbered it, July of 2013, and then there's a Paris street map there. Here's another 4x4 that I made for the same group. I did not date this one, but I know that it was for the same group, and I'm not sure what the theme was, but I chose to do, this was a recipe off of a flour sack, and I think it was Robin Hood flour or gold medal. I can't remember which one. But we had these sugar twists when we were kids, and I always wanted that recipe, and my mother would never give it to me until I was way older. I mean, I was in my 30s, and she sent me a Christmas card, and the original of that recipe was in that Christmas card. And I still have the Christmas card to this day, and I have the original recipe. This, of course, is a photocopy. And then on the front, I have some baking tins here and a cookbook, and I made it look like a recipe. 4x4. So those are 2 4x4s that I made. I'm not much of a card maker, but I did make some cards for that same group. And this one actually went, well, the original of it was sent off, but the concept of this card was using a sundial. And I had Googled sundials, and I wanted to make a card that represented a sundial. And for the dial part of it, instead of that big piece that you see across the sundial, the big knobby piece, the hand, I made a circle with a pair of scissors in it. And then the dials represent, the person had gone to Scotland and had so many months before they returned. And the dial was to be able to count down those months in the flavor of a sundial. So 1 month to go, 2 months to go, 3 months to go. Or you could look at it the other way. I've been there 6 months, I've been there 9 months, I've been there 14 months, I've been there 18 months. Oh, it's time to go home. So, and then I just made a blank on the inside. It was kind of a fun concept for me to do something like that. I think that I really hit my creative nature on this card. I'm not really into making cards. Here's another one that I made. And this one, the theme of this card was to do something with magenta or mauve, which is kind of like a pink. And of course I had to get my scissors on there, and my scissors are acting as a latch to the card. That's the concept of this card. And you see this vintage lady peeking out from the top here, and it says Happy Gratitude. And then to open the card, you squeeze the scissors shut and open the card. It says Happy Gratitude. And then there's just this vintage lady that I pulled out of a costume book that I have. And that's all there is to that card. And then on the back, there's a mauve. This is a paint chip, and I had stamped it with a stamp that I have there. That really came out a lot better than I expected. A woman of spirit and capacity. And then to close it, you close it like this, and then the blades are supposed to go back inside of the, maybe if I do it this way, the blades go back inside of the little scissors holders to close it up again. And I even made an envelope for it. I still have the score tape on the envelope. This was my keeper. Kind of make a prototype. Then I have some ATCs to show you. I have this one, which I was playing around with designing scissors again. And this actually says, may your scissors always be sharp, is what that says on there. May your scissors always be sharp. Really high count fabric here. This is kind of a simple design, but a fun design. And then I made some more ATCs. And these ATCs, I'm not sure what the concept was behind them, but I think it was maybe embossing. And I embossed with Yes Paste. I took these photographs of these ladies out of that same costume book that I took the lady on this card. This lady. And these ladies came out of that same costume book. I should show them up close here. But what I did was I embossed here with Yes Paste. And that heat gun, of course, mottled, M-O-T-T-L-E-D, the Yes Paste, blistered it. And I wanted it to mimic old photographs, and then I put glossy accents over it to sort of like a old, an old tintype. So here's one. I actually have a pin with a arrow going through right there. So there's one. I hope you can see it. Here's one that I put pearls around. I really like these. These are some of my favorite ATCs. And this one, the glossy accents cracked, but I like that because it's almost like a picture in a frame, in a glass frame, and the glass cracked. And I like the fact that it crackled like that. And this is another of my favorites because it's got a tinge of blush pink on it. And this was the first one that I did of this whole series. And these were my keepers. I think I gave some away in the swap. But this one I really struggled with just to get the concept. And I really do like in the end how it came out. Whoops. So I have those ATCs. So let's see. My Valentine is 1. My 4x4s are 2. My cards are 3. My ATCs are 4. I'm showing you more than 3 today. That's because I missed a couple days. Then I have some tags that we made out of another tag swap, and these are all keepers. These were dry embossed, and these were my keepers. But I have these art magazines that showed the tiled ceilings, you know, like in the Renaissance, all those tiles. And then I embossed over it and, of course, distressed it. And I just love the feel of this. I love the background. I didn't do anything with the tag, but I love the beauty of the tag itself. And then this one is out of an art magazine too, and it was a master's painting where it was a bowl of fruit. And I embossed it again, dry embossing, send it through my little Sizzix machine. But I really love the texture against that colored magazine. And this one I really do like because it was, there were columns, like an old Roman column. And then I embossed it with this swirly embossing photo with the little birds. It's a common one out there. Don't ask me who did it because I don't keep track of all that. And then when I colorized it, it kind of turned I want to say it's got a red hue to it. It's kind of a sepia reddish brown hue to it, but I really do like that one. And here's another one with the mosaic Renaissance ceiling on it. And this must have been another swap because these I really distressed, grunged. I think this was a grunge swap, tag swap, and these were my keepers from there. And of course you can see I was playing with modeling paste actually here and letting it crackle, and I'd put the modeling paste through the background stencil of some of the Tim Holtz elements that were punched out of grunge board, and then I used the background as a stencil. I really like how that turned out. In the same way with this one. And this one, I grunged it by wrinkling it up. I think I sprayed it with water and then I crinkled it. And I really do like that. I really love the texture of this tag. And then along with that, I had to make some large, big, huge tags. And these were vintage out of one of those same art magazines. I think this was Colonial Costumes that they were featuring. And I've got two. I've got a woman and a man. And then I sent that magazine photo through my Sizzix machine. And this one's a little crinkly here. This one turned out really nice. But they're big, huge tags. So there's my tags. Now I have one last, oh no, I got one more tag to show you. This was a different group. We did a corset tag swap. And this was my keeper. And I actually made that corset out of a red belt that had these little eyelets already punched in it. And then I just cut the belt about an inch off of the belt and split it down the middle and threaded a little seam binding or a little piece of fabric through there. And then I fringed it up with some nets and little lace along here, and the words read breathe. You know, and of course it's untied and it's B-R-E-A-T-H-E, breathe. So this was my keeper tag for that. It's got a little lace at the bottom. I really do kind of like that. I put these things away after I make them and don't look at them after a while. Now the needlework that I want to show you are all our older projects. This one I made in year 2000. And this is just a little satin stitch of a world, and then it's got like it's supposed to have like a Saturn ring around it with the metallic thread. And then it's got the year 2000 stitched on there. And it says, enjoy your little bit of history. That's one of my favorite quotes. I first learned that from, I think her name is Dawn Lewis. She's a needlework instructor. I did some classes with her around that time. Then I put my name, and then there's a famous year 2000 charm. Made a little banner out of it. And this I did long before. I must have done this probably in like 1988. And this was a greeting card. And I just had a scrap of material when I was playing. I actually charted this one myself. This was my own design. This was the Queen of Hearts. In some place I got the chart for that on like in my figurine book. But I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't really intending to make a piece that I intended to do anything with. I was just playing with the design. And I suppose I could probably stitch that down and make it, or even glue it in an art journal or something. But there's my needlework Queen of Hearts. And then this piece I did probably around in the year 1999, 2000, or 2001. And this is actually done from a photograph. And all my needlework friends have already seen this because it's an older piece. But this was me as a little girl here. And I was sitting on my daddy's lap, and my daddy is right here, and he's kind of leaning back, and I was leaning forward. So, but you know, when you're a child, you have a bigger head anyway. So, this was, and this is all stitched over one, oh, you can't, I don't know if you can even tell it here, but every one of these little stitches I did by hand. And don't ask me the count of this. It looks like it might be 30 or 32 count. I doubt if it's 32. It's probably 30 count. I think it's a little small to be 28 count. It's not 25 count. It's too small to be 25 count. So I'm thinking it's either 28 or 30 count. But it's a big old banner. And I was going to put a verse down here, but I never got that far. This is as far as I got with it. And I like it just like that. So that's what I have to show you. My needlework pieces here. My ATCs. So I can arrange them here, and then I'll do a flyover with my camera. My 4x4s. Can you see the 4x4s up here? No, you can't. Let's get a little high. My 4x4s. My cards. And my Valentine. I'll have to photograph these separately so you can see them. My camera's a little close to the table. So thank you for listening to me chatter through all this, and this is day 5 of the challenge, and I am going to let everybody off the hook and not choose anybody for the next. I'm not going to choose another artist because this has really taken off. Show 3 pieces of your art on Facebook. It's really taken off, and a lot of people are showing their art, so I'm going to let you all off the hook and watch. So thank you very much for watching, and I plan to come back with some more videos. I want to get busy with my art journaling.